Are you a small business owner or bookkeeping and accounting professional looking for a better way to pay vendor bills? If so, you're not alone. I too have been on the hunt for a long time looking for an online bill payment system to use for my own clients as well as my own small business. I think I've finally found a good one. And if you're also interested in something like this video is for you. Hello, I'm Ann B. with Accounting Assistance Team. I am a cloud accountant specializing in QuickBooks Online. I help small businesses save time, gain insight, and grow using technology and accounting. So let's take a look at the typical scenario. All week long, you have bills coming into the office. Somebody has to open the bills. Somebody has to review the bills, approve the bills, pass them on to the person who is entering the bills into the accounting software. Now, if you're a small business owner, you may be doing all of this yourself. If you have a team, great. Separation of duties is always better, especially when it comes to money and payables and things like that. So somebody is entering these bills into the system to be paid at a later date. Typically what I see with my clients is they have like a weekly or a bi-weekly payables cycle. So let's just say that you are paying bills each week, okay? Somebody needs to prepare the check stock into the printer, and a lot of the times you have to kind of keep an eye on that check stock. It's expensive. You don't want to run out. You have to order it, several times a year, depending on how big your check runs are. So somebody has to load that in. Hope nothing misprints, because that means more check stock, right? It's all happened to us. Happens to everybody at some point. And then once the checks have been printed, somebody then has to match them back up with the, payment vouchers that may have to go with them, or any kind of other paperwork that, gets remitted with the payment. The owner or the board members or whoever the authorized signers are have to then sign the checks. And sometimes that means chasing down two people, right? With the dual signatures. That's always fun. And then somebody has to envelope the checks with the paperwork, get the postage out. Stamps cost money. And somebody has to make sure they actually get mailed and not just found on somebody's desk a week later because they got buried, right? That's happened also. So you might probably, at this point, you might be thinking, okay, I wish there was a better way. Like, there has to be a more efficient, cost-effective, sanity-saving way to pay your vendors. There is, and I've found it, and I'm so excited to share it with you. Hi there. We're going to begin by entering a bill, and then after we save it, we should see the schedule payment option for the Melio bill pay service. So I'm just going to start with a test vendor that I'm creating, just like a little pretend vendor, nothing real. We don't actually want anything to process. And this is assuming you have already reviewed the bill has been approved, and we are now entering it to be paid. And you'll notice down here, I have already attached the PDF. That way, in case anybody needs to review the bill later, it's already there. So we will go ahead and just assume that the bill date is today and that it is net 30. And we'll just continue filling this test in. We will pretend that it is just a generic office expense, just for demonstration. We'll make it $1. And we'll act like this does not need to be classed. And once we save the bill, you'll notice that now there is the option to schedule online payment. But before we do, I want you to know a couple things. This is not visible to all of my clients yet. So if you are inside of your QuickBooks Online and you do not see this option, don't panic. There is another way. I will show you that plan B after this part. But for now, they're rolling it out slowly. Over time, this will be in more and more people's files as an available bill payment option. But for now, it's not available to everybody. So don't be surprised if you log in and you do not have this option yet. but it is coming. In this particular client file that I'm working with, I have already gone through the setup of the Melio account under my accountant's account. If you have not set up your Melio account under either your client account, or if you have an accountant helping you, they have not set it up under their account, you would have to go through the entire process, and we can revisit that later. This is just going on the assumption that everything has already been set up and we are merely scheduling the bill payment. You'll see it's loading. It's usually pretty quick, but I have noticed sometimes it can take up to about 30 seconds or so. While you are logging in, you may see this pop-up window. This happens when there is more than one user that's allowed to pay bills within the Melio system. So all you really have to do is just kind of flip-flop permissions. So for example, next time if the other user logged in because it was their turn to pay some bills, they would just change the rights, to pay the bills to them. Just know that you have to be added as a user within the account to be able to have the ability to pay bills. So don't be concerned. Don't think that just anybody can log in and, pay your bills or have access. Like, you have to already have been set up as a user. The next screen that we come to is the option for how do you want to pay the bill. So I've already previously set up the operating business checking account to be connected for payment. This is free. It gives you the option to either pay your vendors by ACH or by an echeck that the bill payment center then sends out on your behalf. Or, of course, for an extra fee, you can use a credit card to make the payment. Some people might find this helpful if they don't have enough cash flow to handle certain bills at the time. They can use their credit card and have that extended window to pay. So just know that that's an option. And then the next screen shows us the ACH payment option or the paper echeck option. Now, if you want to do the payment by ACH, then you must have the vendor's account number and 9-digit routing number in order to be able to send them the payment this way. Now, some vendors will be completely open to this and think it's a great idea, fill out a paper, give you authorization, game on. Some vendors are not going to want to send out their account and routing number to everybody that they do business with. So just know that. For this demonstration, we're just going to choose the check. Now it says may take up to 5 to 7 days, and I've noticed just over time that the initial payments do take a little bit longer the first time around, but if it's a vendor that you pay on a consistent basis, it does seem to get a little bit faster the next several times that you send the payment by echeck. And then it gives you a chance to kind of review how you want the name to appear on the check. Now keep in mind, if you have filled out the vendor profile properly in your QuickBooks Online, the Melio system will pull that vendor information into the bill payment area. So if you've already entered in, their name for the check, the address, your account number, all of that will pull over automatically. But if you have not done that, this gives you a chance to just double check, how you would want everything to appear. So in this case, we're just going to continue because it has pulled over the vendor name correctly. As we continue, it gives you a chance to verify the mailing address. So for example, some of your vendors may have a, post office box, or they may have a physical address that's different than their payment remittance address. So keep that in mind as you go through these extra screens to verify where the payment is going. Once you've verified that the payment remittance address is correct, you are going to head and submit that payment. Now on this next screen, you can tell the address is not being recognized because it's just a vendor name and address I completely made up just for this video. So normally what would happen is it would verify the vendor address, I'm assuming with the postal system, how it is online, and then it connects the two together. Occasionally, it will make a suggestion, hey, this is a better mailing address that's actually recognized by the system. Would you like to use this other address? And then you can say yes or no. So in this case, you'll see that I do have the option to say, yeah, that's the address I want to go to. Go ahead and send it. Now we can see the area that shows when would you like this payment deducted, and based on that date, it'll give you an estimated window of time as to when it believes the delivery will happen. Now I want you to notice a couple of important things here. Number one, depending on when during the day you are trying to schedule this payment, I don't know exactly what the cutoff time is, but I'm assuming that if you do it too late in the afternoon, it's probably going to make you go to the next day, just for processing purposes. So what I like to normally do is recommend to my clients that they just go ahead and schedule for the next business day, not the next weekend. It won't even let you pick a Saturday or a Sunday. So we're going to pick the 21st. You can also pick earlier times. So for example, the second thing I want you to notice is that because we had told QuickBooks that the due date was net 30, it is giving us an estimated time to send it so that it makes it by the due date. So if you want to push your payables out a little while and make sure they get there on time, this is what you would do. If you have enough cash flow and you're like, you know what, I'm going to pay it now. I don't want to worry about forgetting about it and then suddenly remembering it, when it's too late. I'll go ahead and schedule it now. Then what you can do is just select the very next, earliest business day that you would like it to go out. And you'll notice as I'm picking different dates that the estimated payment window delivery date, changes accordingly. So, and again, they're giving us about, a 5 to 7 day window. They give you the worst case scenario. I've seen them get delivered much faster than this when we get the deposit notification, but I'll get into that later. And you can see as we pick different dates, it automatically adjusts. So you just want to keep in mind, whatever your due date is, you might want to give it a little bit of a buffer to arrive a little bit before the actual due date, just in case there's a holdup in the mail, your payment would still be on time. You also have the option to add a memo to your vendor. So for example, if you want something to print in that little memo area of the check, like your account number, the invoice number, a special message that might be labeled for some special event coming up, whoever's on the receiving side will have more information to be able to apply that to the right account. So we're just going to put eventually, you will come to the review page so you can check everything out before you confirm that payment. So you can see at the top, we'll just work our way down. So the payment amount is $1. It's going to our test vendor for invoice 1048. It is coming out of the operating checking account. Payment will be deducted on the 19th, and it should be delivered somewhere between the 26th and 28th, and you can one more time check the address. Now, notice a couple things here. Each area has a edit pencil. So if you realize, oh, wait a minute, that's not the right payment address, you still have a chance to fix it before this payment goes off to the center. Also, you can edit the memo. You'll notice another thing, that the transaction fee is 0 because we are paying from the checking account with the echeck option. If we had used a credit card, there would have been a small fee. After we've checked everything out and make sure everything's good to go, we will hit confirm and schedule payment. If this is the first time that you're paying this particular vendor, the system will give you the option to send them an email notification. So you can enter in their email, or you can say, I'm done here, and go to the next screen. Just so you can see what the email looks like that your vendor will receive, I'll go ahead and send it to myself. And that's it. We're all set. Not bad, right? And once we go past that screen, it brings us back into the bill payment area of QuickBooks Online, and you can see that the bill now shows that there has been a payment made. And if we click on the payment, we can go into the payment history, and it also gives us the option to then view that online payment. What I like to do while I'm here on this screen is just add in a little bit more information. So for example, we paid this by echeck. Also, I like to attach the payment scheduled confirmation here, and I will also usually make a note that today the echeck was scheduled. The ETA of the delivery is, this date to this date, and later when it actually gets deposited by the vendor, I will come back into this transaction and just add in the deposit date and the attachment showing that the vendor deposited that echeck payment, which is important to have because it completes the cycle. It shows we received the bill was paid, and they cashed the payment and applied it to the account. If you click on that green View Online Payment button, it takes you into the area that shows you the review of the transaction, and this is what you can print to PDF and save as your backup, proving the payment was scheduled. I like to do this for my clients so that as they're going through their books and looking at transactions that I have entered for them, they have that confirmation attached showing that that bill has been paid. Also, this area gives you the chance to cancel the payment, which we are going to do since that was just a test. And of course it asks you, are you sure you'd like to cancel this payment? Yes. So now we're back in the vendor profile area, and you can see that I've also removed that little test transaction bill as well. I don't want either of them to actually stay in the books. So basically the bill pay through the Melio system, is pretty straightforward. You see that it's available in your QuickBooks. You enter a bill with your attached PDF of the bill. You see the schedule payment option. You click it, it activates the Melio payment system. You go through those screens to say how would you like your vendor to be paid, ACH, the echeck, pay by debit or credit card, and it just takes you through those different little screens where you can just verify the information and then submit. They take it from there. You don't have to worry about your printing checks, all the extra check stock, the envelope stuffing, the stamps, somebody making a trip to the post office, or making sure they don't get buried on somebody's desk and then discovered after it's too late. All of that stuff is avoided. It's an easy, affordable, amazing system. Oh, and by the way, if you're wondering how they can afford to do all of this for free, and you're thinking, how is there no charge? Everybody else makes me pay a subscription charge for bill pay. Yeah, the reason they can do it for free is because they're counting on a certain percentage of users using their credit card and paying the fees. So of course they bring you in, with the ACH and echeck option, which is fantastic. I'm a big fan. I use it myself for my own business. And then you have the option of using the credit card payment. That is how they are earning their fees. So I hope this video has been very helpful for you. I hope it makes you think about some different bill pay options. I hope this will help you in your business. If you know another business owner that could benefit from learning this information, please share this video with them. Tell them about us, and maybe we can help them as well. Have a great day.